Singapore, a tiny island nation with no natural resources, yet one of the wealthiest and most developed countries in the world. With 5.9 million people packed into just 730 square kilometers, we're left wondering, where do Singaporeans live? Let's take a glimpse into three very different realities. Here, a good class bungalow, GCB, in a wealthy district near the city center, reportedly owned by TikTok CEO Chu Shou-zi, 31,800 square feet of private land, worth over 86 million Singapore dollars. Here, the Interlace, a famous Lego block-style condominium with over 1,000 units, multiple pools, gyms, and 3 tennis courts. And here, towering blocks of public housing called HDB flats, home to over 80% of the population. Singapore is often said to have one of the world's best public housing systems. Let's compare it to Hong Kong, similar in size and population, but with an average living space of just 172 square feet per person, where many low-income families live in subdivided coffin homes. You rarely see that in Singapore. So how does Singapore house its rich, middle-class, and lower-income families with such limited land? Let's take a look at its unique and highly effective housing system. Over 80% of Singapore's residents live in HDB flats, public apartments built and managed by the Housing and Development Board. But don't let the word public fool you. These flats are well-planned, well-maintained, and designed to foster community living. HDB flats typically range from 2-room to 5-room units, often between 700 and 1,500 square feet, and can be anywhere from 5 to 50 stories high. They come with nearby amenities like markets, malls, schools, bus interchanges, and stadiums, all seamlessly integrated into town planning. Public transport is easily accessible within a 5-minute walk from almost anywhere, and most pedestrian paths are sheltered, so you don't have to worry about the tropical sun or sudden downpours. You are only eligible to buy a newly launched HDB flat if you meet the following conditions. You are a Singapore citizen. You must be at least 21 years old and planning to get married. Otherwise, if you're single, you'll need to wait until you're 35 to be eligible. Your monthly income is up to 14,000 Singapore dollars for families or 7,000 Singapore dollars for singles. You do not own other property, either locally or overseas. The government heavily subsidizes HDB flats to keep them affordable for young and lower-income buyers. Key grants include Enhanced CPF Housing Grant, up to 80,000 Singapore dollars for first-time buyer of new HDB. Proximity Housing Grant, 30,000 Singapore dollars for living near parents. With these grants, a young couple can often afford their first home when they get married, contributing to one of the highest home ownership rates in the world at around 90%. To maintain racial harmony, every HDB block follows the Ethnic Integration Policy, EIP, which ensures a balanced mix of Chinese, Malay, and Indian households. This prevents ethnic enclaves and encourages multiracial interaction in everyday life. Only about 16% of Singapore residents live in condominiums, private residential developments that offer more privacy, better amenities, and a touch of luxury. These gated communities often include swimming pools, tennis courts, gyms, barbecue pits, and sometimes concierge services. They range from high-rise towers in the city center like this one, Dunedin, a striking condominium with 1,715 units, showcases modern vertical living, while Reflections at Keppel Bay offers resort-style luxury, blending iconic high-rise towers with expansive low-rise units, all overlooking the tranquil waters of the yacht club. In 2025, a typical 3-bedroom condo outside the city center would cost 1.5 to 2.5 million Singapore dollars. In prime districts, prices easily exceed 3 to 5 million Singapore dollars. In land-scarce Singapore, owning a landed home, a house that sits directly on the ground, is a rare privilege. Only about 5% of the population lives in landed homes, with approximately 73,000 units across the country. There are 3 main types. Terrace houses, connected on both sides, usually 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. Semi-detached houses, linked on one side, typically 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. Bungalows, fully detached with private boundaries, often 4,000 square feet or more. At the top of the pyramid is the Good Class Bungalow, GCB, with a supply limited to around 2,800 units. Each requires a land size of at least 15,070 square feet. Prices start at 20 to 30 million Singapore dollars and can go much higher. Foreigners are generally not allowed to buy landed property, except in Sentosa Cove, a luxury enclave where international buyers can enjoy seafront villas in a resort-like setting. So whether you live in a subsidized high-rise or secluded mansion, one thing is clear. Singapore's housing system is not just about buildings. It's a finely tuned machine of policy, planning, and control. And it tells the story of the nation itself. Subscribe to explore more of our world through maps, one layer at a time.